This is Nate. We're in downtown Austin, and Nate, when you hear the word Christianity or come into contact with Christians, what's your first impression?
First impression is good people doing good things, trying to live their life as best they can. I think that's it. I mean, it's positive.
Positive. Do you have any certain religion or believe in anything?
I'm kind of agnostic.
Kind of agnostic.
Yeah. I'm sort of in between.
In between. When people come up to you, for example, if I were coming up to you and professing to be a Christian, which I am, is your impression mostly positive, negative, somewhere in between, and why?
It's mostly positive because I think you're doing a good thing and doing what you believe in, and, trying to make the world a better place. So.
Good. As somebody who's a believer in Christ, what could we do better to help people understand what we're about? Is, for example, I guess what I'm asking is, do we say one thing and do another, and does that reflect on all of us?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I see is a lot of people have a perception, especially people who are more progressive, have the perception of Christianity being tied too closely with political views, which aren't necessarily Christian.
Right.
And the beliefs around the poor and what are the best solutions for resolving some of the issues we have in the country.
That's actually a great follow-up, if you don't mind me asking. What is the perception from somebody who's more progressive on how the poor should be interacted with better, and how can we better serve the poor and disadvantaged?
Well, I'm actually moderate. I'm not Republican or Democrat.
Okay.
So I tend to decide on a given particular issue. But there's this perception that that people who are Christian are very closely aligned with the Republican beliefs around around health, social programs, helping the poor. Also on this is just a part of Christianity, but the beliefs around homosexuality and so on. But that's a part of that's nothing. I think that is a part of sort of the Christian belief system. So that's nothing that is changed. But I feel like that a lot of people's perception is that it's politicized on the national scale. But that's different than perception one-on-one of individuals. So if you come up to me as a Christian, I feel like that never even comes to my mind. It's like you're doing something good. You're doing what you believe in.
Well, that's an awesome insight too, Nate. Because I guess maybe my final question would be, if Christians, by and large, not just individuals like me, but by and large, if their desire was to develop real relationships with people and not make broad judgments about who somebody is based on who they voted for or the T-shirt they have on or some of those things, do you think people's perceptions be more positive? Like serving the poor, for example, if Christians went to get to know poor people and where they are and where they lived and desired to help them individually, instead of making broad generalizations about them, would that improve the perception, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the more you experience that locally, the more the perception will improve. The more you know the individuals and see the acts that follow the words, then I think it will.
So your opinion is that we need to do more locally and get out and serve our communities so that the perception about what we believe is more broadly accepted or at least heard.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be a big thing. And then there's also the national bigger scope thing where you hear about major churches endorsing one political leader versus another.
Does that give you kind of a negative taste?
It does. Just because I don't think it should be political, and because I am not, I do not follow one party or the other. I'm very independent. I would like to see Christian church as a whole separated from politics.
Does that put you more on your guard if somebody like me were to try and share my faith with you because these national things are taking place or these broad?
I think it would. It definitely influences my opinion somewhat. Not much, hopefully, but probably does.
Great answers, man. Thanks for taking the time. Tell me your name.
My name is Kathy.
Kathy, I'm Chad. This is Ford, and this is Jeremy. We're in downtown Austin, and I'm going to ask Kathy her first impression of Christians or Christianity when she hears that word. What do you first think?
I think of people who have living hearts instead of stone, cold, dead hearts.
Very good. Do we as Christians or people who profess to be Christians do a good job of spreading the word by living out what we say we believe in?
It's getting better.
It's getting better?
Uh-huh.
Was there a time when it wasn't very good in the recent history, you think?
I believe so. I think we got watered down our message, and we tried to get folks into church instead of going out to them. That's what I think.
And what could we do better?
Just be more visible and more vocal, I think, and speak the truth. I'm getting to tell a lot of people the truth down here with what I'm doing. They ask you about reincarnation, you can tell them there's one appointed once to die, and after that the judgment. But I'm a good man or woman, they say, and I go, but God is holy. So just speak the truth. His word will not go void, and you won't mess his words up with your own if you speak his.
No, that's great. What church do you go to, Kathy, if you don't mind me asking?
I go to Oak Hill Bible Church.
Oak Hill Bible Church.
When it has services. Otherwise, when it doesn't, I go to Calvary, South Austin.
And how often are you out here, Kathy?
I'm out here at least twice a week.
And do you have other people that you worship with or that do the same thing, or is this something you voluntarily do on your own?
This is rather new, about 3 weeks in the making, and a volunteer. But my church is aware of it, pastor and elders are aware of it.
What have people's response been out here on the street?
Oh, regular, like you're on stopping by, or just taking a pamphlet, or asking about the red E. B, red E, get it?
Oh! There's a red E on her umbrella. Well, Kathy, thank you so much for taking the time.
I'm glad you stopped by. Nice
Yes,
to meet
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. You too. This is Roshan. Met him in downtown Austin. Roshan, when you hear the word Christianity or Christians, what's your first impression?
My first impression would be
I gotta get closer so I can hear you,
person
buddy.
that would be religious.
Religious?
Religious
In a good way or a negative way, Roshan?
depends.
Depends.
Depends on the situation. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. It depends if they want to force their religion on others.
So it depends on if they want to force their religion on others.
Yeah.
What could Christians do better so that it wouldn't appear that way?
Well, first I would say attain more knowledge. Be more open-minded.
Be more open-minded and
Yes.
attain more knowledge?
Yeah, and learn that your religion isn't the only one out there, and that you're not the only one that thinks that your religion is the right one. And if you do understand that part, then you can respect other people. Oh, then you can respect other people.
Okay. So be more open-minded about other religions and what they have to offer.
Yeah.
Has it been your experience that people who profess to be Christians say one thing and do another?
At times, yeah.
And then when that happens, does it cause you to form an opinion about Christians in general, or is it just about that particular person?
It's just about that particular person, because I understand that people, that not everyone's like that.
Yeah. Now you've met me for the first time, and if it were my desire to share my faith with you, what could we as Christians do better to allow that conversation to be better?
I would say, talk to me in a way where you're not forceful, where you're not threatening, where you don't use fear in order to I want to say attract people to your religion.
Develop real relationships with
exactly.
people. Is that pretty close? And
Yeah,
so you can get to know the person, and
exactly.
makes that conversation easier.
Yeah.
All right, Roshan, thanks for your time, my man.